Judas is the treasurer. Hussam Wahab, a Palestinian lay Christian, is an accountant, and he reflects from the accountant's perspective on the story of Judas. He also reflects from the perspective of being a Palestinian Christian. And from that particular experience, that of being victimized, that of being pushed to the edge, that of being made to feel that you are an outsider, that you don't belong even in your own land. And Hussam sees something of that in Judas, somebody who always seemed to be on the edge of the group, whether pushed there by others or there of his own volition or some combination of both. In Mark chapter 3, when the disciples are listed, it is Judas who is named last as a disciple. His politics, radical politics, would almost certainly have put him in a different place to most of the other disciples. And so he finds himself on the edge, and as often happens with people who are already somewhat on the edge, then gets pushed further to the edge. Sadly, there's something of a dynamic here, isn't there, which we see replicated in so many other circumstances. The person who is in some sense victimised, or at least feels themselves to be victimised, then becomes one who victimises others. And we see something of that dynamic going on here. Judas, we believe, was passionate to see the Romans thrown out of the land. And perhaps initially he saw Jesus as one who might be instrumental in bringing that about. But gradually, as things go on and he sees Jesus as not doing that, or at least not doing it in the way that he wanted or expected, so he becomes disappointed to the point of betrayal. Did he want to try and force the hands of Jesus in some way? He'd come to see Jesus as the problem, not the answer, not the solution. There are so many echoes here, aren't there, of our own human experience in different ways. The betrayals, both those we have suffered and those we have inflicted upon others, the disappointments which lead us to respond in unhelpful ways and sometimes in destructive ways, destructive of ourselves and of others. The way we can come to change our attitudes towards another person, somebody in whom we have had confidence suddenly becomes the person we don't trust anymore, and so on. So many of these echoes of things that go on in our own lives and in life around us. It's quite easy to write Judas off, isn't it, and to view him as the baddie of the piece. But I think if we're honest, we see quite a lot of ourselves in Judas, and that merits our reflection, our penitence, our determining to be different and not to allow ourselves to be pushed into the Judas way of behaving. Some lines from another poem by Father Richard Nesbitt as he reflects on Judas, and the poem speaks as in the words of Judas. Jesus, no one can move the crowd like you, heal the sick, calm the storm, multiply bread, even raise the dead. Your power is from beyond this world, no question, no doubt, but in this time for simple slogans you waste it all on cryptic teaching, on long nights of incessant prayer and concern for the waifs and strays, while your nation lies bleeding. Enough is enough. This is the moment, this is the time. This Messiah needs taming or shaming to become Judas' lion. Forgive me if I betray your trust, but the time has come and needs must to make a stand and force your hand.